And good morning again. This is our special guest, Eddie Deuschle, and he is going to be sharing with us this morning about his work in Honduras. So take it off.
All right, thank y'all guys for having me. Hello, Anna Claire. I went down there in 2013 with my church for the first time, and that week I decided I wanted to go down there full time. It took me till this year to do it, so I got down there in September of this year. I actually met my wife down there. We got married September 25th. Honduras is in Central America, if you're not familiar. It's down in the skinny part, and it's tropical, mountainous. As I was telling them, it's 91 in the summer, 75 in the wintertime, so they have no idea of the leaves coming out off the tree. They don't understand that. It's a beautiful country. That's all I can say. You can see the clouds down here below my feet. It's just the sunrise, just images of the mountains around. This little mountain stream coming out of my village. It's very cold. They call it the River of Ice. This is off my front porch. You can see my roof there. That's Mount Santa Barbara. It's 9,112 feet. Can everybody see? Or?
I can't, but I'm going to stand up so I can.
This is a lake, Lake Yohoya. It's a couple miles from my house. It's about the size of the reservoir, I would say. Just more images of the lake and the surroundings. This waterfall is about 20 minutes from my house. Every time my church comes, they like to go there and see that. There's my neighbors. You can see off in the distance there. That's my porch again. This is Florida, of course, but we do have beaches. We're not known for them, but if y'all ever want to if y'all get tired of that scene right there, if you want this, I'll be your tour guide for free. There's the islands off in the Caribbean. This is me doing Bible school. I found out I like to work with kids a few years back. I was cooking at our daycare at our church, actually, and when we go down, I started working with the kids, and it's fun for me. So when I got down there, our church, all of them, they're coming out of the pandemic like we are here still. And, the church is sort of, some people stopped going. Of course, we didn't have church for a while, but then it's taken a while to get some of them back. I asked them about Sunday school and youth group, and they said, well, we used to have that, but I said, can we do it again? So they thought about it, and they said, okay, it's time. So they gave me the 5 through 8 year olds, and I do the best I can. It's fun though. It's Jonah and Noel. They walk to church. People don't really have cars, most part. And the villages are set up to where you can walk. That's how they get around. So my point is, they have their choice whether they come to church or not. The parents don't drop them off in the car. They walk to church. So you try to make it as fun as possible, yet still learn. Of course, cookies and Kool-Aid. We made balloon swords. This is David and Goliath. We made a Goliath face. Daniel in the lion's den. Just paper plate and crepe paper. But they have fun with it. This is another church at Monticello. I do that on Monday night. It's just they're having the Bible study there. You can see the kid with the jacket on. It's 62 that day, I believe it was. This was we did the parable of build your house on the rock, not the sand. And after it was over, we built houses out of bed sheets. And let them have their snack inside the house. Just something, we had the story, and then we have a little fun. This is my church in Buenos Aires, Sunday morning. On a good day, we have 30 kids, so it's pretty successful. There's the older kids out. That's their Sunday school out in the breezeway. That's just me and some of my kids. J for Jesus, the Christmas time we talked about, the reason for Christmas. This is a tiny house. I do say tiny. It's 16 by 16. This family lost their house in a hurricanes in November a year ago. We had 2 Cat 5 hurricanes in 1 week's time. They were living in the back of a church. A group from my church was going last year. Just our church wasn't going officially because of the pandemic, but they wanted to go. They couldn't ever get together on a time, but a few people donated some money, and This house was $4,000, so we built it for the Emiliano and his family, and they love it, love it. This is their daughter's. February is back to school time in Honduras. That's one of the biggest things I do. I have 2 schools, and I try to get people in public school. Public school is free, but you have to have 2 uniforms, or you have to have a uniform, and of course the supplies and a pair of shoes. I don't know why a uniform, but that's what they say, so I can't change it. Really, you need 2 because they have to wash them every day. They air dry, and it's not going to be dry. So $100 a year to get a kid in school. If they have to travel from in the junior high, they don't have a junior high in every neighborhood, so they'll have to go on a bus. It's $1.20 a day, and that adds up over the course of the year with all your supplies. It's probably $350. Average family makes $8 a day, average person. So $8 a day. Come on. $8 a day does not go very far. A lot of the kids that go to school are from missionaries. It's Daniela, their other daughter. That's just more kids. These are my Sunday school class. There's my wife, Cruz. She's taking these backpacks up a hill. We could not get the car up this street at all. There's Josue and Carlos, I believe he's Carlos. These kids, their older siblings are in my school. I have a school that's for people that have dropped out of public school because they basically can't afford the $100 or the transportation. At some point they probably started to work, even at 12 years old or whatnot. A lot of them pick coffee. That's what a 12-year-old can do. These kids are skinny, if you can tell. And their mother's skinny, but it's reported to me that they don't have any food much in this house, so I try to take them some when I can. That's one of their older daughters that's in my school in El Tigre. And this is the oldest daughter, Kenya, and she's the breadwinner of this house. She's 17. The mother takes care of the household because in Honduras, when you wash clothes, it's washing the old school way. The oven is outdoor oven. You go get your firewood and start the fire. And a Honduran housewife is a lot of work. So Kenya, I'm not sure what her job is, but she goes to work and then she goes to my school at night. We have my school at night so they can work. This is Anna Evelyn, her sister Sadia, and they're in my school as well. I found them in this house, and it's one of the worst down there I've seen, but you can see the bathroom here is little wrapped in visqueen. It's just a commode. There's no shower or anything. They just shower out in the yard. And there's their water supply, this tank here. So I felt bad when I went to visit them, and I don't really know what came over me, but I told them one day they would get a new house. And around Thanksgiving, I had a friend of mine from high school I'd not seen in 30 years. He sent me $5,000, and I had other things I wanted to do, but I thought about this, and I said, I'm gonna go ahead and do it, and we did. We started December 3rd, I think. That's the family helping. The kids, we had to walk this material down this pathway here. They helped me all day long. We had to move all the sand. They thought it was fun. It was a little work to me, but I had a great time with these kids those few weeks. I took the Bible school, Sunday school lesson out there that week and let them do that. Here's the new house, the bathroom in the house, which is the first. Running water is the first. He decided no hot water. He couldn't afford the bill, so unfortunately no hot water, but they got the bathroom in the house. That's the only piece of furniture they own is that blue table, and they got a TV, and they got a tiny refrigerator. So they needed beds, so how do you get 10 people in a space that's 16 by 22? So figured bunk beds. So I got 2 in the back, 2 in here, and then the mother and father up front. And here come the mattresses, because he told me he had 3, and I said, let me see them. And he brought them out, and I said, no, sir. I said, you have 1 mattress, and you have 2 egg crates. So that's what they had. And I just got them 1 more, but they're good for now. They planted flowers. They're really taking care of it, and they're really happy about it, and I feel better about the situation. And I've got their kids. I took them their backpacks this week. My wife is actually getting uniforms as we speak right now, delivering them today because they start tomorrow. her brother Elmer. This girl's in the same family. She is deaf. She was born deaf. And she knows no language. She cannot speak Spanish, of course English. She can't write, can't read, can't sign language. She just smiles, and that's all she can do. So after I delivered the backpacks, I got to thinking, you know, she didn't get anything, so I went to the store and we got her some things, and I took it back to her. And I don't know how to help her. I don't. That may be a project for another day, but she cannot communicate with anybody on this earth. This is our park where I live in Buenos Aires. This is my house back here. There's my brother-in-law, my father-in-law. There's my church right behind it. And this is Kids Day. They have Kids Day like we have Mother's Day and Father's Day. They have a holiday called Kids Day, and that's a good idea, I think.
That's
But I
every day
noticed-
in America.
Yeah. Do what now?
That's every day in America.
Oh. Our church has no property, just the building, and I wanted a place to have Bible school, and I see this park, and I saw people using it, and I wanted to rehab it. That's one of the first things I thought about. And I met with the community president. I told him my ideas, and he said, we've had plans for this park for years. We just didn't have any money. So I said, okay. I said, I've got a little bit. And we put our plan together. I had to go present it to the community in Spanish. And that went over okay. And they said, they approved it, and they said the labor's gonna be free. I said, okay. And they started the next morning. This house was in our way. We tore it down. We had to work at night. Most of the guys worked in the day. They work at night when they get off. They took a lot of pride in their work. They put this brick pattern in the sidewalk. There's the backdrop for our amphitheater. There's the mountain in the distance. The ladies would feed them at night. They would try to do that to just keep them riled up. And these are rice cakes, which just rice wrapped in a tortilla and deep fried. So it was cheap, but they liked them. Everybody was happy. It was a real fun time with the whole community out there working at night, the women, children, everyone together. They then decided to do some fundraising. They didn't want me to pay for everything, so we had 3 cookouts, and then we actually went door to door asking for a little bit of money and for the Christmas celebration. My daughter did this. Our youth group in our church had, these are pupusas. It's made out of cornmeal, and it's stuffed with cheese, and they just fry them on the griddle. It's got a little, like a coleslaw on top. They're very tasty. But they had WhatsApp. They sent it out on social media, and people were ordering online, and we had service to your house. Some guy had a motorcycle, so they really went all out. There they are. There's the youth group leaders here. My daughter at the computer. The pupusas. This is our stage. This is right before Christmas. They got together and they made these flags, and we got decorated. We had a big tree. On Christmas Day, the tradition is you eat tamales. They don't have turkey. They eat tamales. They don't go anywhere because they don't have a car. Chances are their family lives next door anyway, or in the same house. So that's what we do. We eat tamales. So I got together. I'm trying to think about evangelism. It's Jesus' birthday. I said we have a birthday party for Jesus. We had 600 people come out. We had tamales for the adults. We had something called a baleada for the kids. It's like a quesadilla. We had birthday cake for Jesus. You can see this drawing up in the background. That's something I do. I've done it here for the school. I did the nativity scene out of chalk, and I've got special chalk. Some of it is it's invisible. You don't see it until you turn the black light on. So that's the Christmas star. It comes on at the end. So you can see the crowd. There's my drawing. The kids in our church did a program before I started, and we had the story of the nativity and the preacher telling the story of the birth. This is sort of my abstract drawing, the 2 shepherds and the manger in the background. Here we are packing the little bags for the kids. We had 200 bags. We had 197 kids. I tried to get those shoe boxes from the Billy Graham people, and they did call me, but we didn't. I don't know how to get on that for sure list, but I'm going to work on that next year if y'all are familiar with those. They came once 20 years ago, and the people are still talking about it. So that what they do is a good thing. So ours were not near as costly, but we did what we could. This is the school that I started in El Tigre. Originally, we only had like 12. We had 15. We had upwards of 20 students at one time, but it got down to 12. Some of them were too young, and the principal from the public school came and got them out. And so I was a little worried about the school not having enough kids. So it's like you be careful what you pray for. You might get it. Pizza, you can't go wrong with pizza. But I started another school. We went shopping one day. One kid didn't have any shoes. He missed our field trip because he had a pair of Crocs, but his feet were hanging out. So my Aunt Diane sent us some money, and we couldn't figure out how to get him just shoes because he's going to tell the other kids. So I said, everybody's going. So we got in the minivan and we go to shopping. This is a soccer team that meets outside of the school every afternoon. And the coach happens to be a friend of mine. I met him the first year in Honduras in 2013. He's a good Christian guy, and he leads the kids in the afternoon. Soccer is all year. That's their only sport. There's no basketball, football, baseball. It's soccer, which they call football, all day, every day. So if you want to get to the kids, you need to be associated with soccer. I just brought them pizza that day just to thank him for doing what he does. He's a translator. That's how I met him. He actually spent time in the United States in the Bronx in New York. He's a professional boxer. So he's sort of an interesting guy. I'm supposed to get this team uniforms. That's one thing he's requested. But soccer, I think, is a very important to get to kids. You can invite kids to church all day. You can invite parents to church all day. You may get some, you may not, but they're definitely out on the soccer field every afternoon. The guy that's coaching them in my village is a Christian guy. They have prayer before and after practice, and he tells them things about life as they're practicing. This is a field trip in my school. We do have computers. We try to get them on there every now and then just so they can get their hands on it. Betsa Perez is the founder of the school, and this is all her idea. This is Jose. He's 30 years old. He's in first grade. He's actually in second grade now. And I was picking him up every day. It was like a 30-minute drive, and I questioned that, but he said he wanted to come. On New Year's Day, he was having some problems with his wife. I'm not sure what was going on. And he was depressed, and I think there's some alcohol involved, but he took some weed killer. He works in farming. And this, I think it's called paraquat, but it's known to kill you. It's going to kill you. And luckily his wife caught him before he drank too much. I had to go get him, go to the doctor, go to the hospital. And it took a week or so. He finally got better, but I was worried about the hospital bill and everything. And I was real worried, and I didn't want to spend all the money in my mission just on this kid, but how do you put a value on his life? And my wife told me the only thing that's going to fix this was prayer. And I was like, is that what you think? She said, yeah, that's what I think. So she said, we take him home. This is my father-in-law. He's very a spiritual man. And we took him in the house, and he just asked him some questions about, do you believe in God? But no one had ever told the kid the story. He believed in God, but he just never heard that Jesus died for him. And so that day, he did become a Christian that day. So we sort of saved his life twice in one day, if you think about it. This is the next school in my village of Buenos Aires. My sister-in-law said we have 4 kids I know in Sunday school class that want to study, and I'm going to teach them for free. And I said, okay. So we have 50. The 50 came out. So I got 20 in El Tigre. Here's the 50 at Buenos Aires. Here's registration in our church. 1st through 6th grade, and I'm trying to get Teresa some more help. She's trying to teach them all. 7th grade, we have 30 kids in 7th grade. My wife is one of them. She's 41, and she's going back to school. She's never had the chance to go. So I think that's good for our kids to see the mother. Just saying education is important. I think education is the only thing that's going to get them out of this $8 a day. If you only go to third grade, you're not going to be trained enough to do any kind of skilled job. Seventh grade is so full. This is where we have first through sixth grade in our village. Seventh grade, you've got to buy the uniforms for $100 and $1.20 a day for the bus. So you're looking at $350 a year. If you only make $8 a day, that's out of reach for a lot of families. So they're very happy about this school here in Buenos Aires. It's my sister-in-law in the middle and our other two teachers, Sonia and Teresa. This is opening day last week at El Tigre. I think we have 20 there. You can see most of them are older, and a lot of these kids work, and they're coming to school. This school actually meets on the weekend, so they can work during the week. And this is the church at Monticello. There's Jose, he's back in action. And we get 4 students. Now she's just teaching that as in the afternoons as she can. This is Karen. She's the preacher there. She's my teacher. She does the kids study. She does the music. She's the whole church. This is soccer practice. This is my brother-in-law Antonio. They have soccer practice starting at 2:30 every day, 2:30 to 4:30. He's sometimes working, but another guy, Mr. Fernando, is there. And that's my son, number 4, Giovanni. This is his first game. This is a Christian camp near my house. It's called Arca de Cristo. And it's some missionary named Randy. He's from Georgia. He's built this place. He spent a lot of money on it. But you can see the 3 crosses up here. He's got the Lord's Supper table here. He's got the tomb of Jesus, the tomb of Lazarus, the woman at the well, Jesus calming the storm, Daniel in the lion's den. He's got all these little scenes that you can walk in the lion's den. And it's like a training ground for people of all ages, but it's a very beautiful place. Our team got to go there last week. Once again, this is a chance for evangelism. You got Christian guys leading the soccer team, and you take them to a Christian camp. And this other team in the black is Los Naranjos. That's our neighboring village, and it looks like another team that doesn't have uniforms. This is a really nice facility. He's got a gymnasium, soccer field. He's got a kitchen, banquet hall. He's got 10 cabins. Once again, Honduras is beautiful in every direction. He's got they played a game with each other, and then they had the worship service afterwards. This, my village came to me. They're trying to get a new soccer stadium. I don't know what this has to do with being a missionary, but I felt glad that they have included me as part of their community, and they asked me to draw it up for them. I did with Google Earth, and we're supposed to meet with the mayor like any day now and get that approved, and hopefully they'll start construction on that. This is our pastor, Dennis Gomez. He's a full-time missionary. We've been struggling trying to get a pastor in our church. It's hard in the States to find a good pastor, but our church only takes in $160 a month. Mostly because it's a lot of older women. We don't have many guys in the church, and we're trying to work on that, and that's sort of a Honduran cultural thing, you might say. And a lot of them, to tell you the truth, are over here. They're coming here by the thousands right now. Mm-hmm. And it's leaving sort of a void, but he's training us on evangelism. We're having a youth group here, and he's preaching to the youth. One of the first things he did was have evangelism training with us on how to tell the story to other people. And I think our plan is to start going door to door. I think that's his plan. This is my family. Cruz is my wife, Marisol, Lizzie, Marcella, and Giovanni. So God's blessed me with a family. You know, he didn't send me down there by myself. I actually have some great kids, and I think there's 10 siblings, so I have 10 brothers-in-laws and sister-in-laws and cousins and aunts and uncles. I think there's 120 in my family. There we are, the family reunion on the top of the world there. It's my daughter, a very pretty girl, Marcella, who was 11 last week. my wife, granddaughter Analia, that's Giovanni, my son, my mother-in-law. This is an outdoor oven. That fire has not gone out in 42 years. That's where they cook. That's where they make tortillas. It runs on firewood. It's efficient, but that's how they cook. It's a little different for me. My father-in-law, we have a couple mallard ducks, we have pigeons, we have chickens, and we have 2 dogs and 2 cats. Every morning he feeds the animals. It's sort of fun to sit back and watch. My daughter Lizzie. And that's our wedding. We got married September 25th. This is just my information. I might get my sister wherever she went. Can you hand her that white packet there? But she can hand that to y'all. But Mission Honduras is the name of my mission. MissionHonduras.info is my website. I have a monthly newsletter I send out. If y'all want to send me a little message, put me on it. I'll put y'all on it. I'm totally self-funded, so any money I get, I do appreciate. I've learned that that's my job. Down there working with the kids, Bible school, or going to soccer practice, building people houses, sending up 87 people to school is really just fun for me. It's really rewarding. I don't really consider it work at all, but I've only been there since September, like I say. And I've been in construction all my life, and I took a short detour as a chef, so I don't know why God's called me to go down there. But, you know, why did he call Paul to start the Christian church, you know? The ideas for evangelism, we've got this park that we've built, and I've just watched this in America. It's one thing to put a sign up in front of your church and say we're open, but I don't think that works too well. Taking a Christian concert, let's say, out to our park, and where we're going to have 600 people come, 300 of which are probably not saved, that's the opportunity. Taking, 45 kids from soccer practice to this camp that probably don't have a father and are maybe not going to church, that's a good opportunity. And I like to think outside the box, but that's what I'm doing in Honduras. I came back to see the parents for a short bit and do a little work to finish my house, quite honestly. Thank y'all for letting me speak today, and I can definitely answer any questions someone might have.
He didn't tell all this. I'm going to give a little bit before Susan says anything. He went down there with his church that's in Madison, and they were doing this work down there through Madison, the church they went with, St. Matthew's, and which my grandparents were a huge part in starting. So he got to know all these people, and then while you were there building, Antonio, which is now his brother-in-law, I got this right, Eddie?
Yes.
That's where he met Antonio, and while he was down there working, Antonio said, "You need to meet my sister." Isn't that right?
Well, she actually came to pick me up at the airport on New Year's. She was in the bus.
Okay. And she lost her husband how many years ago?
4 years.
4 years ago. Was it cancer?
Car wreck.
Car wreck. Okay, I'm sorry. And that's where she had the 4 children. And just wanted to give y'all some background information. Anyway, Antonio, that was helping him build, that he was on the construction site and helping building and stuff when Eddie went up there on the mission work with his church. And so Antonio, who was always helping them build, introduced Eddie to Cruz, his sister. And so he got a lot when he married her, but Eddie's never been married. Of course, he never had any children. And so it's really cool to our family because we've always hoped he would find somebody. And he jokingly said, "I was just looking on the wrong continent." So God blessed him with a wife and children, which is also to our family, because we've always wished that for Eddie, because he's always been good with kids. He jokes around with with my kids, all the kids in our family, and so now not only does he have his own kids, now he's got all these kids he's ministering to. So, bless him. You know, Susan, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
You mentioned something about your congregation, mostly older women, and then that's a cultural thing. What did you mean by that? That men
It's
don't-
not just in my church. It seems to be in a lot of the churches. And I don't fully understand the culture myself. It's different. But my brother-in-law, he actually lives here in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, he married a missionary and did the reverse thing is what I've done. But he told me it's sort of a macho thing. I don't know, but they're very nice people. And most of them, 72% of the people in Honduras claim to be Christian, compared to 60% supposedly in the United States. So on the surface, it's a very Christian place. The 72%, if you ask them, you know, are you a Christian? They'll say, yeah, I believe in God, and I'm a Christian. But they don't know. They don't know that Jesus died on the cross for them. That you have to ask Him into your heart. They just know there is a God, and they believe in that God, and they think that's good enough. And the fact that they have not been to church is why they don't know that. But once again, they're very, very nice people. They just we've started a men's group. The pastor, the third week he's there, he said, I want to meet with the guys after church. And there was only 6 of us, but he's like, where's the guys at? We're going to start a men's group. And we started one on Wednesday night, which I only went to one because I'm here now. But we're trying to build that group. And I think once we get some of the guys, like our community president is a Christian guy, but I don't think he goes to church. If we can just, it's like that first domino to fall. Once you get a couple, and like I said, I think outside the box. I'm not a preacher. I am not a preacher, and that's not going to be me. I can do Bible school, but we have a preacher. I can use my talents. I built a city park. I'm in construction, and I can schedule a band. And I can put 600 people there and tell the preacher, do your thing. I'm a cook. I don't know. I think I'm a pretty good. Jenny will probably tell you I am. But I'm thinking about cooking for our men's night or something to attract people. And Jesus used food in His ministry multiple times. I mean, He fed the 5,000 twice. He would go to people's houses and eat. And that's how we had our first men's club in the church, but we were going to people's houses, and we're going to start rotating around. And that's why. But yeah, I can't fully answer why the men are not really coming, but they don't.
You talked about the kids having to walk to church. About how far did most of them walk?
Oh, it's not that far. It's a quarter mile at the most. Some of them not more than 200-300 feet.
But they have to be motivated enough themselves to do it.
Yeah, that's what I said. The parents are not going to say, get up, it's Sunday morning, we're going to church, and get in the car. They literally come by themselves. There's only 1 or 2 that the mother will walk them down there. The others just come down the street. And it's safe. I mean, they do that. When they go to soccer practice, it's a half mile. I mean, they're accustomed to walking half mile. That's not a problem for a kid. But they do come by themselves, and we try to make it as fun as possible, but of course we still have the lesson. And we started with 18s, now we got 30, so at least we're headed in the right direction on that. We started a youth group. I don't really have any pictures. I told them I would help. They seem to think they've got it, and they're younger. They're probably a lot better than me. So they're meeting on Friday night. I told them, once again, I'll do whatever you need. I said, if you want pizza one night, and they're like, pizza? I said, yeah, pizza. I said, let's bring pizza one night and see how many kids you have next Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
Hondurans would not ever think of that because they don't have the money to buy pizza.
Right.
So did you make the pizza or did you buy?
I was gonna say, yeah, where do you get pizza
But
from?
we have a restaurant in town. I do live I say I live in a village, but we have a little town down the street that's got everything can't find everything, but we have one pizza restaurant, we have 3 Chinese restaurants, and we got various two supermarkets, a bank, a hardware store, other. Of course, you got cell phones now, which they did not have 5 years ago, but they have 3 cell phone stores, I think. That happened, went from nothing to everybody's got one in 5 years.
How do they afford that on $8 a day?
They put that first. You buy your phone, and then you buy your rice and beans. But they save, and you can finance it, believe it or not. You can finance your cell phone. But the bill down there is not what it is here. You can get, a lot of them don't have cell phone service. They just have the phone, and they'll use Wi-Fi. And you can get that for as little as $15 a month, I think. That comes with the basic cable package. So a lot of them that's how they're using it. You can get a used phone for $100, and like I say, my wife financed hers. I don't know how long it took her to pay for it, but you know, I mean, we love ours. I don't love mine so much, but Americans do. That's their really the only connection to the world. A lot of them have never left their village, so they don't. I don't know if internet's a good thing, because now they're seeing the Kardashians and whatnot. But, yeah, it's funny, they say they can't afford a lot of things, but when they find something they want, they'll make the money.
We're just about out of time, so let me ask this question. What are the most important things we can be praying for you and for your family and for your ministry?
Just like I said, I'm still new at this, and I'm finding my way. Just pray in general for the ministry, for the school and everything. God, I was nervous to death about this fundraising last year, and I didn't like it, and I still don't really like it. But someone told me God always provides, and He did, and I have enough money to cover everything right now. There's just not much breathing room for any new opportunity, and that's really what I'm looking for right now. And sometimes people ask me what my plan is for the. I don't really know. I'm just holding on right now. I'd never planned to start this school, and I told her January to start. Yeah, you can start it for 4 kids, no problem. Now we got 50, so I had to hire teachers, and I definitely want to focus on the evangelism more this year. And now that we've got things in place and a pastor in place, and just like I say, I heard God call me to go down there, and I was not opposed to it. I just couldn't find a way to get there until this year, and I did. So just my life's good. More or less pray for the people there that they'll listen. They can hear the word of God, I guess.
Right. Well, we're glad the timing worked out for you to be here with us today, and we will definitely be praying for you.
Thank y'all for having me.